I'd fucking smoke that boy. Stay that wee prick.
Skadoosh. Out into the wilderness.
Are we live?
Yes.
We're going?
Let's
Excellent.
run.
Right. I've been having a back and forth nightmare. Oh, let's see what Fred's saying.
If you would hear them.
Speak then.
This anger you feel for your brother.
What?
I know it well.
You have a brother?
His name was Deimos.
Don't really get to know Deimos.
He was taken by two gods
It's news to
obsessed
me.
with prophecy.
Uh,
The gods of my homeland seldom left survivors. So by the time I learned he had lived,
What God of War
it
was
too
that in?
late for him.
Was that in?
one of the spin-offs
Two?
that even I haven't played.
Oh, right.
Deimos is...
But I never stopped loving my brother.
You think my
1, 2 and 3 I feel like I kinda know what happened.
Exactly.
Chains of Olympus I do not. And was there another one?
You're just sharing your thoughts
Ascension.
on a subject you
Was
know
that
nothing
PSP originally as well? Then they ported it to like
Probably.
PS3 or whatever.
But it is a weird spin-off that I think does cover it.
Right.
Yeah, I've never played it.
Aye, right. So this farmer, right, pardon me, this agricultural engineer, because everybody's an engineer these days.
Engineer.
He's wanting some business cards, so they got them done by the prick that used to work there like a year ago or whatever. They're shite, but whatever, they're the shite that he asked for. So straight away, I'm not really into it because it's someone else's shitty design that I'm needing to fix.
Hey buddy, give me your fucking money.
The way I always put it is like, well, actually that doesn't really, this doesn't really apply, but it's a shitty design, so I don't really want to do it, but I'm like, whatever, so I'm doing it for them. And they're like, can you change this, change that, change this, change that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, aye, right, sound, I'm doing it. So then, make all these changes, and then she's coming back with me and like, oh, it's getting a bit far away from the original design. I'm like, well, no fucking shit. You've told me to change all these things, obviously it's going to start to look different. Moron. And she was saying, there's grey at the top of it, and she's like, oh, the grey, why have you changed the grey? Change it back. I'm like, I've not changed it, I've not touched it, I've not went anywhere, you know what I mean? I've done nothing to it. It is unaltered from the original document. But she was insisting, she was like, no, we held one up to the screen and it looks different. And I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. If I pull out my phone right now, depending on the brightness of it, the colours are going to look totally different. So,
Oh, you prick.
so number one, you're an idiot, and number two, colours for screen and colours for print are different anyway.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Ass bandit. Get off me.
So they're always going to look a wee bit different. And then she sends me a PDF of. So it's their shit scanner with their old business card and the new one printed off on like just an office printer. And like they look totally different. And I'm like, aye, but. So I got I screenshotted it. I had their PDF they sent me, and I had the document with the business card in it. And I'm like, look, the colour that you've printed off is nothing like. None of the colours are anything like what they're actually going to look like when they're printed properly.
I know
You know what I mean? Like you're just.
trying to play on my sympathies in the hope I let you
I'm
live.
trying to think of an example. It'd be like saying,
The mistakes of the past need not be repeated.
say you make a film that's going to go on the big screen,
Made enough of my own.
and then you're looking at it like on your phone, and you go, oh, it's kind of hard to read the subtitles or something like that. It's like, well, that's because you're looking at it on a phone. It's not going to look that way on a 20-foot, you know,
like
cinema screen. It's like Jesus, you're a fucking idiot. And it's a piece of shit design anyway, Joe. I stole a couple because fuck them.
Bad dog.
I really hope that
Get off me.
they order 500, and I really hope that they sit and count them and realise that they're like 10 short. So anyway,
No, I can't imagine they will.
that's it there.
Okay.
It's garbage anyway.
It's pretty shit, yeah.
2 wee tractors, and they were freaking out about the tractor. They were like, oh, move it more to the left and have it doing a wheelie and all this type of shit. And I'm like, right, cool, no bother.
Seriously? Some customers are not worth having, man. They're just fucking problems.
Well, see, I mean, when I'm doing like, oh, that's cool.
I forgot I could do that.
Was that like
It's only if there's a fucking stump there I could also.
oh yeah, and it'll be
Have it.
yeah, that's real cool actually. That's good. Aye, like, see when I'm doing freelance stuff like that I always just turn away, because when you're working with someone else's design, you're like it's, I don't want to work with it. It's probably going to be shitty. They're not going to give you the original file most of the time. You're going to need to like. It's like trying to fix a cake that someone's already baked and it tastes shitty. You can put some icing on it or whatever, but like at its core, it's still going to taste bad.
The biggest loss in my life.
So I was doing that
Saving me
most of the morning.
when I specifically told you not to. Well, it was my
This woman as well, she was looking for, she wanted postcards, right, for Valentine. She's a florist, for Valentine's Day and for Mother's Day, and she wants them both on the same postcard, like printed on each side, and I'm like, that's kind of weird, but whatever, fine. And same thing, so she sends me these photos, and she's like, can you use these, you know, and they're like so close in, all the like the stuff's going off the edge of the photo, if that makes sense. Like you can't see the edges of the flower, and like I've ended up just emailing her back, and I'm like, where'd you stay, hen? I'll come round and I'll take some photos for you.
Why can't I claim all these things?
And I say stuff like that sometimes, and 9 times out of 10 they think you're just trying to pure upsell them shit, and I'm like, no, but you always say like, oh, do you want me to take the photos for you? And they're like, oh, no, I think I can manage it, thanks. But they can't.
See, I admit I'm not a photographer. My old boss always used to criticise every fucking photo I took, and it's a fair criticism because I do not take good photos. I don't know what it is. It's just I don't have an eye for it.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's like Googling your symptoms before you go to the doctor. I think it's fine to have a go, but if the doctor then, if you go, oh, I think it's AIDS, because I googled my symptoms and it sounds like AIDS, and they go, it isn't fucking AIDS, it's whatever, I think you also have to go, fair enough. So like, oh, I took some photos, are these any good? No, they're shite, but you know, fair enough, you trying. But when I tell you they're crap and I explain why to you they're crap, don't be like, oh no, you just try to upsell me. Right, okay, whatever. Because if you take shitty photos and you send me shitty shit to work with, the end result's going to be shit, and it's you that's going to be affected by it, not me. Nobody will come get your Valentine's flowers. And she drew, I always love when folk do this, right? She drew a little scribble on a piece of paper, like just with a pen. So like my first sort of draft or whatever, I make it like as close to what she'd asked for as I could. Then she goes like, I don't really know about that. You know, like not the stuff that I had added. It wasn't like the stuff I'd added. She was like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if it works. It was the original shit that, you know, she had like drawn on a little piece of paper. I'm like, oh, I knew it was gonna look shitty, but it's what you asked for. It's like, I don't know, someone goes like, can you make me a cake that tastes like shit? If you want, but
really tastes like
nobody's going to want to eat that. And then, sure enough, no. You go to the bakery, no one buys this jobby cake, you know, like.
You're really getting on with the jobby cake, aren't you?
I don't know, I don't know why it's on my mind, but it's just the example I'm thinking of. So anyway, yeah, that's what I was doing today.
Sorry, I've just wedged this fucking thing into a fucking gap in the fence and I'm just pummeling the shit out of it.
That's speedrunner strats right there.
Fucking... What was that? Fucking... I don't think you even landed a single blow. Time to die. Fucking weird moose line or whatever you are. Me, oh my. Aye. I must admit, I've lost my patience with people this week.
How come?
Same as you. It's fucking apprentices, man. Apprentices who can't take criticism.
Right.
Who then report you to HR for being like, I think you're on your phone too much. Like,
oh,
I feel you're judging my character. Like, what?
You must be joking.
I'm not joking. So they've actually been moved from my team.
I know your son's story.
Should be on your phone. I mean, I'm on my phone all the time in work, right? but I'm not an apprentice.
Yeah, exactly. You're not an apprentice.
It depends on the job.
I mean, she's not like, put it this way, right? She forgot her pass. She left her pass on the wrong site, and I was like, what's that about? She wasn't dressed for like
Burned Olympus to the ground.
the job. She was like, I can't go out in my PPE today. I've not dressed like
Perhaps you will.
I'm wearing a dress or something. I was like, are you? Well, I couldn't get away with that excuse. Like,
Yeah.
I at the end of the day, I need to be able to put my overalls on and go out and fucking do my job.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna leave my team. Somebody has heard about me saying to her, and is when some fucking other prick in the other team has heard about it and is like, no, I'm gonna take her under my wing and save her from Stuart, the chauvinistic pig that he is.
Is this
How
a
dare he?
guy?
This is a guy.
That's creepy.
This hero. This guy's got
This
fucking-
white knight.
Exactly. White knight cocksucker is gonna fucking save the day and take her from me. And put her on a project she'll really enjoy, which will basically be fuck all, because I know what that
Yeah,
thing
exactly,
is.
yeah.
So she'll be sitting on her ass, living it up, and I'm just like, nah,
How many lassies apprentices are there
Two
out of?
out of four.
Oh right.
Well, I suppose if you count the first years, it's 3 and 3, 3 boys, 3 girls.
All right. Oh, fair enough. Then I thought
But she's 20.
when I hear engineering, it's usually like 99% male.
Yeah,
Just a fact.
You see me trip that cunt? Oh, that's funny.
Not being sexist, I'm just saying, numbers wise, that's just usually a fact.
And it's really disappointing because I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. They talk about this generation as like quite sensitive and Snowflake and all that, and I'm like, no, I think they're a bit more resilient than
And
that.
addicted to their phones and social media and what have you.
Exactly. And I was trying to be subtle about it. I was like, you need to watch this documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma, is what I said to her. Because it's basically all about how your phone is like designed to kind of get you hooked. Like Facebook, like drug dealers and Facebook are the only two kind of systems that refer to their customers as users.
Right.
Right, because you like Facebook isn't free. Like Facebook sells advertising space, and it does it really well.
Yeah,
it does it really well by just listening to what you're saying,
Yeah.
marketing what you've basically spoken about.
There's a phrase. I mean, if you're not paying for a product, then you're the product.
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of. I assume it's notifications as well. Like your default kind of settings on your phone is everything is a push notification.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to bother you all of the time, and that's what's happening. Is like these kids have always had that, and always just lifted their phone and just like, and I'm like, hang on a minute, I've given you fucking work that needs doing that should really only take you like a couple of days, And what I also want is I expect there to be problems when she tries to do stuff, but I'd rather she goes out and encounters those problems and sort of goes, right, how can I solve this? Because I kind of don't have the time to. So it's stuff that's not urgent, but it's still important work that needs doing. Which is why I'm happy that even if they don't get round to it, like it's not going to be the end of the, it's not going to be the end of the day.
End of the world.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be the end of the world.
We're end of the die.
We're the end of the die.
That's what footballers always say. The end of the die. When you're having your breakfast at the end of the die. Everything's at the end of the day.
How did she see that? Bullshit. She did not fucking see that blow coming. She should have went fucking down like a sack of potatoes.
I agree with you. That's nonsense.
But then, as well, it was the little things, right? So that's her. She's out of my team. Well done. You got what you wanted. You don't have to do what I tell you to do anymore. So, well done. Fantastic. But then, they're all sitting there. Now that she knows she's gone, she's fucking around. Because she knows happy days, I'm free. And now, I was chatting with her and one of the other apprentices, trying to round myself out as a character to her, So I'm not just the big mean like man, like hang on, I've got a wife and a baby on the way, and mother-in-law's in the hospital and stuff like that. Trying to personify myself a wee bit. Don't give two shits. Like, does not give two shits about me and my problems, which again is back to the narcissism of these snowflake kids.
They all think they're the main character.
Exactly. But they all think. Yeah, you're right. They all think they're the main character. That's a good way of putting it.
And everybody else is just a fucking NPC.
Yeah. And it's that attitude of I'm the finished article. I'm 20 years old and I know more than this 35-year-old who in this environment is I'm pretty like advanced in my career for my age. Like there's not a lot of people my age doing this kind of job. Right. So I do consider myself to be a wee bit, ahead of the game. And like I say, it takes a bit of effort to be tactful and give them good advice. I don't try not to just be like that. Stop being a dick. Although there's another guy in my team who's also being a fucking dick right now, who thinks his job is to find roles for other people in my team. And again, there's no humility. They're just like, yeah, no, I saw this job and I think it'd be good for me. And it's like 2 steps up. Mm-hmm. So say they're like privates right now, they're like looking at fucking general positions, and it's like, no, this isn't suitable for you. And my boss takes it really personally. He's like, oh, it's disrespect to you. They should be like running these things by you first. And I'm like, I don't take it like that. I get they're all pure FOMO minded. They're all like so afraid of missing out that they think they have to apply for every job going. Even if it's like a pure 3-level promotion. But so what I don't like is they're almost like one guy applies for every role going, but he started like almost bringing this other guy in and going like, this is the job that's out here, just so you know. Mm-hmm. This job would be good for you. I'm like, what are you about? What are you trying to do here? Oh, I thought it'd be a good role for him. Like that, you don't have his best interests at heart. Deep down, you don't have his best interests at heart. You're in here fostering dissent a wee bit, you know what I mean? You're actually a bit of a problem. So if
everybody thinks the grass is greener elsewhere, then that'll affect the team.
I also think it makes them all look a bit stupid. So a lot of them are like that. A lot of them are going out applying for jobs that it's like, no, you're not ready for that position. Rather than like doing the work and almost being called upon. And that's the bit where I'm just like, you're all fucking absolutely fucking kidding yourselves. Like
I blame a lot of that on just these days everything's like
ultra positivity or
sort of, but it's like all this social media shit as well. It's like mindset, grindset, and side hustle and all that type of shit. You get a lot of that, so people think like you get 20-year-olds claiming that they're CEOs of their own company that they've started that has a like annual turnover of like $1.5 grand, but they've got CEO in their title, so some people fall for that bollocks and other people don't. So that's what I mean by like some people would be like, oh, well, this guy's a CEO,
so many of them are
so I should apply for this job that I'm totally not qualified for.
Exactly. They all feel really that it's the entitlement that I'm like that. Most of these are fucking key janglers at best, where you can look really busy, you stand and you jangle the keys a lot. Oh, wow, I'm so busy. Oh, but none of yous achieve fuck all. It's like in 1 month I can do like everything that's being asked of me. I'm probably one of the few. Even my own boss is guilty of like kind of. Why will it not let me?
Would agree with you about prophecy.
Even my own boss is guilty of just being like, oh yeah, I couldn't get such and such done on time and pure ripping the arse out of everything. But that's kind of because he's just super disorganised. But he's got quite a young kid as well, so he's kind of got a bit of an excuse. Whereas, like I say, there's back to the Apprentice just for one wee moment. I'm talking about like Miller and Carter, the Steakhouse. Mm-hmm. We went out for lunch. I was like, we had a nice wee lunch. Like, oh, that's Miller and Carter's shite. Like, you want to be going to such and such steakhouse over by the what's it called? Kelvin Grove Art Museum.
Right.
I'm like that. Again, this is a problem with your generation. Why do you fucking 20-year-olds think you should be going out for like £100 lunches at a steakhouse? Like, I fucking make twice what you make, and I wouldn't like necessarily be going to a £100 steakhouse for my dinner.
It's so they can put on fucking Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it's that entitlement. I deserve this £200 steak every weekend, and they've all tried it. They've all been there.
I'd be fucking mortified spending that much on steak.
Exactly, but again, it's a bit of get in your fucking lane.
Is my tragedy not enough?
But mummy and daddy pay for the car, and mummy and daddy pay for the fucking accommodation.
There was a wee lassie.
Fuck yous then.
There was a wee lassie, and I say wee lassie, she's probably about 24, but she was tiny, so she looked younger. But if I had to guess, I'd say she's probably like 24, 25. In front of me, getting petrol this morning, and you know, I'm in a hurry, and that's my own fault, right? But she was there filling up or whatever. She puts the nozzle back down, gets in when I'm just picking the nozzle up, and I forget how much it was in litres, but it was like $30, so it was more or less, it was a hefty amount. It wasn't like a scoosh and I was ready to go. It was a hefty amount I was putting in. So time it takes me to fill that up. Then I go in and I sit down and I sort of plug my phone in, and like she's still not moved, and she's there in front of me. So like I turn on the ignition, and like she's still just sitting there. So I rev the engine once or twice, and she's still just sitting there. So I just started beeping the horn like fuck, and then she finally like moves, and I could see her like getting all gesticulating or whatever, probably calling me an arsehole and all that. It's like we'll get out the fucking road, like. You know, you've fueled up, she'll have been checking on notifications or whatever, and this is what I mean by like, it was not the end of the world. I could have reversed and like sort of fannied about and went out, but it's like there's people behind you. You're holding me up. Get out my fucking road. And it was a Mercedes as well, which annoyed me because I was like, that's just another thing where it's like appearances. So like I drive a Mercedes on a special, like on finance. I guarantee you don't own it. And even then, being on finance, you're probably not paying the finance yourself. Probably mummy and daddy are paying half or whatever. I don't know. It's so judgmental. I try not to be this way, but I was just like, I would hate you. I could not. I guarantee you and I would just not get on. Me and this wee lassie. And she's got fake tanned and bleach blonde hair and all that shit, which I'm not really into. So yeah, I think that was kind of on the same page as what you were saying.
Oh no, no, exactly. It's just a generation of fucking plasticky, put together, entitled wankers.
I was just like, move, like fucking move. I'm the type of person I don't like holding up queues and stuff like that. If it's me, I'm trying to like pay for shit. Even if I want a receipt, a lot of times if there's like a big queue, I'll go, oh no, that's fine, don't worry about the receipt, crap like that. Try to speed things along. But you've got other people like that, just at the front, on the phone, not giving a fuck.
I think so. Universe revolves around me.
Everyone else can wait.
Come to me, my pretty.
And I guarantee it's not like
burn
shit.
That shit.
Nobody's in the hospital. There's nothing urgent going on.
Shut the fuck up for you!
Somebody will have just left a fire emoji comment on your last heavily edited, heavily filtered fucking Instagram post, you wee slut.
Again, it's back to the addicted to their phones. It is true. Phones are addictive.
See the number of times
need to be addictive.
See the number of times when the traffic's bad, I look about, every cunt's looking at their phone.
Ah, exactly.
A boy in the gym, it was kind of awkward. This was a couple of weeks ago. There's a boy, I don't dislike him, he's a nice enough guy, but he is a fucking moron, is the perfect way. He's the guy, I didn't give you his name because the 1 in a million chance he ends up watching this, but he's the guy that was on about, he's paying £30 a month for an app on his phone to track his like calories burned and all that shit. And I'm like, £30 a month for that? Like, what the fuck?
They don't know the value of $1 sort of thing.
And he's 1 year younger than me. It's not like a pure massive. I don't feel like that should be a massive generation
Well, it's not. A
difference.
generation is 10 years.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
He's only a year younger than me, but he's just a fucking moron.
Don't get me wrong, I used to hate getting a bollocking from my elders as well, but it's one of those where I'm like, it's actually really valuable. So if the response, I'm more frustrated with the organisation, because I'm like, if the response to me giving an apprentice, not a bollocking. Yeah, just like a telling off and a bit of like, here's a wee bit of advice.
I think is pretty fucking reasonable, being
Exactly.
on your phone all the time.
Aye, well,
you're at work, like,
yeah, productivity wise, like you're not delivering the stuff that I've asked you to deliver. This was like 3 weeks, and I'm like,
if the reaction to
you're
that
no fault.
is to essentially reward her.
Exactly, to give her what she wants, then I'm like, well, it's fucked then. I basically have no authority over this lass. Despite being 3 levels her senior, despite having to manage teams that are made up of people well beyond her level.
It's sort of, it makes everybody look, it makes the whole sort of company look a bit, incompetent's not quite the word, but they have no authority. What's the word I'm looking for?
No, probably they have no authority.
Yeah, somebody does nothing and gets rewarded for it.
We're having this issue with discipline. It's a huge one with discipline, man.
It's you know what it is like? It's the inverse of a lot of jobs, a lot of like minimum wage jobs. If you're good at your job and you get your work done quickly, your reward is more work. Like, one of the things boomers always go on about is they always say, like, people on minimum wage, they'll always say minimum wage, minimum effort, and all the boomers are on about, like, no, you should be working your ass off to get the promotion. It's like, but a lot of these places there isn't a promotion to be had, exactly, right? Yeah. And your reward for working hard is more work. So why would you work hard? Whereas this example that you're on about is kind of the inverse of that. It's sort of like,
oh, we get a lot of perks,
shitty,
a lot of privilege.
Well, what I mean is she's like, she has a shitty attitude and gets rewarded. It's like, what?
Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense.
It blows my mind. And let's say I think back to some of the people I hate the most from my career did at least mould me into a better employee. Right. Because they weren't pure softly with what they said. They just fucking told it the way it was. They just went, you're being a mouthy cunt, or you know, like trying to teach me things. And the only way you learn is by being humble and being like, do you know what, I actually don't know anything about this. Yeah. And you'll get so much further. But I'm like, we're just teaching her. And the problem is, the company I work for are just like, we want to have 50% like women in the senior leadership team. Okay. You're like, I mean, why? What? No, but how arbitrary is that?
Yeah, that's my stance. If you want it, great. Well, I think we all want that. It's just, how are you going to go about doing that? If it's just we're going to hire women in these positions no matter what, so it's 50-50.
Exactly. Yeah. No, but it gets so
going back to the engineering thing. I mean, I had a couple of friends at uni that were doing engineering. I think there was something like 50 people in the overall course. In his year, one of them was a chick, so
it's not to say that chicks are bad engineers.
No, of course not.
But if 80% of graduates are male in the engineering discipline, it's like you're just
numbers wise. It means you'll be disproportionately promoting like women into these roles. Just because they're women.
Exactly. And but the organisation has stated that as their goal, and you're just like, well, fine. But when you end up with a load of incompetence, or worse, like really, there's one I met with today who is notoriously difficult to work with because she thinks that, I just tell it the way it is. It's like, no, you're tactless. You're just such a fucking piece of work. You think you know it all when you don't. You have, again, no humility, but you think, oh, I'm a woman, and I'm just telling it the way it is. Yeah. And actually, it's harder to be tactful to actually, like, I had to have a hard conversation with the boy today who told somebody else to apply for a job. I just wanted to tear him a new arsehole. I just wanted to go in and go, what the fuck do you think you're doing? It is not your place to tell somebody in my team about a job. And also, while we're at it, the jobs you applied for are well beyond you. You are not ready, and you're not ready because of your fucking bad attitude. Not actually because he's bad at his job, but because he's just general attitude. Anytime like his fucking nose gets out of joint, you know about it. There's no like, you know, he can't put a mask on and be like, okay, I hear what you're saying, you know, almost rise above it. That can, again, back to that constructive criticism. He just fucking crosses his arms and sulks. Something about to jump out of this fucking hole and attack me. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's the next hole.
There.
This is very Dark Souls, this area.
Source of the
Aye.
magic keeping me in Midgard.
Dark Souls is so good. You need to give it a proper chance. Dark Souls is the bollocks.
I don't think I've played the original Dark Souls.
Don't play the second one first, because it's the worst.
I will gease it then, if you've got it. Because I don't think I've ever
it's on
had it.
PS3, I've got it. Although I might... there's a sort of remastered one for the PS4.
Something's not right.
My pile
So
of
I might-
games are there.
I might just go buy it.
My pile of games to play are there.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to finish Kingdom Hearts 3.
Dark Souls 2 is the worst, but because I started with it, I loved it.
And then you realised there's even better things.
Yeah.
Look at her, she's so cute. I knew there was something. Oh, demon! Forget Freya, there's an interdimensional fucking snake monster.
Just that last thing about like women in jobs is it's like if a guy's a dick, he gets called a dick. Whereas if a woman's a dick these days, and you say, God, she's a pain in the arse, it's like, oh no, you just don't like her because she's, you know, it's a woman telling you what to do. I'm like,
I'm trying.
that's not true.
What was I trying to do here?
Kill him.
I think I've made an arse of that.
to get to those roots.
What did you want me to do about it? This guy's pretty tough.
It's like there was a lassie I was at uni with.
Getting his face? I was getting in his face and it was fucking my face up.
I think you must have just timed one of those runes
Yeah,
wrong.
I think one of those runes.
You were getting damaged.
I was getting pinned.
There was a lassie I was at uni with, and she was just a cow. And I would say like, Katie, her name was. I was like, no, Katie, you're being a fucking cow. Obviously I didn't say that, but you know, it was basically, Katie, you're being a cow. People are like, oh, you just don't like her because she's assertive. I'm like, she's not assertive. She is assertive, but she's also a fucking cow. Because it wasn't like constructive feedback, it was pure bitchy stuff like,
Okay.
oh, if you could stick around, that would be great. You know, like pure passive aggressive shit like that.
Get out of there.
And I was like,
I remember
fuck
what I
you.
need to do now. Get your arse.
And I was the one that would just address as well. Here, you're not the leader. You're not in charge of me. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're just some lassie on the same course as me. What the fuck makes you think you're somehow like my manager or something? You fucking cow. And she was ugly, so I had zero reason to be nice to her.
At least if she was a ride.
I mean, yeah, you could maybe tolerate it for a
Oh,
moment.
you shut up, Freya. Exactly.
Have a lot of
Thank you,
things to get in
Freya.
our drawers, and then you could go from there.
That's what's happening. You're right. I'm trying, but again, I've made. That's what I'm doing. I'm using that rune.
That rune must
is-
just be.
It doesn't affect him,
damaging you, yeah.
and I'm just getting fucking pummeled while I stand there. Okay, lesson learned. Whoopsie. Whoopsie.
There was a woman, that place I used to work, the HR woman. I think she's one of the few women I've ever met that I'd quite like to punch. She was absolutely, she was just vile. She's a fucking horrible person. I remember calling Iona fat one time. You know, Iona was something like, oh, I was at like some restaurant or whatever. She was like, oh my god, you fat bitch. She was like, no, I'm just joking. You know, like that. And it was like,
Was that HR?
yeah, this is the head HR said that. And I'm like, I really don't feel like I'm being oversensitive here. I was like, because she'd made her cry, I think twice before that. It's not like she said this like day one and you're kind of getting to grips with like each other's sort of sense of humour and shit like that. It was like, no, there was 2 times before that where you had brought her to tears because she was off sick for one day. So, you know, you didn't have a good relationship before that. Sort of walk into the room and call her a fat bitch in front of everybody.
Yeah, this ain't going well.
To go in and call her a fat bitch in front of the entire office, the rest of them are all men, and they're always say, you know, they were always being arseholes to her. They're like, oh, it's just banter. I'm like, it's not though. Like, does she join in on it? No. That's how you know it's not just banter. You're all just a bunch of mad fucking weird neckbeard IT losers. That's why I don't think he liked me. Because again, he's a fat neckbeard IT goon, and I'm a chiseled Giga Chad MMA fighter Adonis, artist genius, billionaire cowboy astronaut. So that's why he didn't like me off tops. Mad Alan. I'd punch his cunt in if I seen him. Like on sight, I wouldn't even say anything. I would just walk up and just leather him. Just beat the absolute fuck out of him. He was a vile wee specimen as well. He was one of those wee...
There's many of them, that's the problem.
He was one of those wee guys you can tell has just been bullied his whole life, and now he's got that tiny wee bit of like power, and he's just milking it for all it's worth, because he was a dick to all the other wee IT guys. They had some dude in, he was like, I want to say Mexican. He was not Mexican, but he sounded Mexican. English was clearly his second language, and he was in fitting like a wall bracket thing to put TVs up on. And it just, like, they were just constantly on him, Alan especially, just pure bothering him, just calling him shit. Like, you know, just saying like, oh, can you do nothing right? You know, stuff like that, and like laughing at him and all this. And I'm like, you can do nothing right because you're in his face, prodding him. Nobody could fucking get anything done with this shit. And I'm like, again, I think I can't remember how I worded it, but I was like, that's a bit out of order. He's like, oh, it's just banter. I'm like, is it though? Like, I mean, you wouldn't speak to me like that, would you?
Right, too right.
And, you know. And he wouldn't dare speak to this guy like that if it were just the two of them having a conversation, because it was, you know, in the office with all these wee IT goons, you know, there to sort of back him up and make him feel like he's the boss in charge. That's when he was up for it. Cowards, pathetic weaklings. I have no respect for people like that. And yeah, I would love to beat the shit out of that guy. Just fucking choke him unconscious, let him wake up, choke him unconscious again. Have him fearing for his fucking life because he deserves it.
Oh yeah, fucking...
Anyway, back to the game. I'm going to do some MLG commentary here. That's unbelievable gameplay here. We've got Stuart throwing some axes at the Neathog. The Neathog appears to be low on HP. Looking for the MLG callouts. Is that Freya with the assist? No, it's Freya being a useless bitch.
That's what it wants me to do.
You're quite low on health.
I forgot that's what you did.
Yeah, unbelievable gameplay. That's what they always say.
It's working.
That's
My sneaky scheme is working.
That's what these esports commentators always say. It's just unbelievable gameplay.
Be ready for anything.
Non-esports FGC commentary is god tier though, because they just don't give a fuck. They like come out with just the weirdest stuff, and they like just full scale argue and ignore the gameplay and stuff like that. It's quite funny. Like if you're watching Evo and you're watching Street Fighter, the commentary on it is actually kind of bland.
Did it again.
Because they don't want to offend their sponsors. They don't want to.
Freya, you're the reason I drink.
Oh jeez, you're low on health.
I know.
Oh, let's see if he can clutch this one out. It is going right down to the wire. He's going backside, B-side here. Unbelievable gameplay.
Oh, there's health just behind me. Nah, you thought
there doing the spin the world.
You thought you were smart, didn't you? Doing that little wee bit of cheeky health. Wow!
Kratos showing off his spear skills. I learned moves like that when I
Explode
was
his
in
face.
primary school.
Ah, you didn't like that, did you? It's time to die! Oh, I just switched to the axe. Just fucking pummel his face. Oofed. Say what you like about the Leviathan axe, man. It does not work as well as the Blades of Chaos. Back in the day, Blades of Chaos, you were bringing down like fucking sea serpents. Like,
that was the opening boss.
I know. There's this guy, he's taking a fucking butt pounding.
The best kind.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Unbelievable.
Oh, he says he's weak. He says he's weak, but he's still fucking... Whoa. Whoa. Stop. Stop fucking hitting me.
God of War. More like God of Snow.
You got him? Fucking finally. Jesus. Oh, thanks. Terrible teamwork.
Oh no.
Exactly. Get back here. No. Bad. Bad fucking... Whoopsie.
Of course they give Freya the final hit. After you do all the work.
Yeah, all the heavy lifting, mate. Although to be fair, it's the Doctor Strange attack.
Yeah, closing portals and shit.
My goodness, that was stressful. Oh, went to see Bullet and Trivium, just like last week.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, they were Bullet for my Valentine were very good. Trivium not so much. It's hard to put the finger on exactly why. It's maybe because I played the the Trivium album to death. Whereas Bullet for my Valentine, like, the Poison album is such a good album. In many ways, it was the best thing they ever did. They never really kind of topped it. And then this weekend, we're going to see Papa Roach.
Alright. When?
Sunday.
Are you away Saturday night?
Where are we Saturday night? In Liverpool.
Oh, right, so
we're going
down there.
we're going to Liverpool for it.
Cool.
I've not been.
Never been to Liverpool.
Have you not? I've been to Liverpool once for a stag do, and it was during the European Cup final where they won.
Oh, right, that must have been madness.
It was madness, man. Luckily, we had a space in a pub, so we were all kind of like seated and secure. But it was mental, man. Everyone was jumping, but it was filthy. Honestly, they just sort of tore apart like the town, and there was just bottles, like beer bottles everywhere, like up to your knees, walking through the streets of just garbage.
Shithole.
You're welcome, Frey.
Is it done?
That's Liverpudlians for you, though.
There was one guy climbed up on one of the
It's over.
like street lights and like couldn't get down. He's up there like yes, and then it's like, you know,
he's still there.
Yeah, like probably
the skeleton.
Exactly.
Now you have what you seek.
So I'm looking forward to actually exploring the city a wee bit and checking out the Beatles and
I suppose.
maybe something related to
Snow
the
Patrol.
Beatles. there's not. I don't think there's much else there besides like Beatles shit. Who else came from Liverpool? Did Snow
Steven
Patrol?
Gerrard. I don't think Snow Patrol did.
No, I was going to say hi. I wonder if Snow Patrol was like...
Well, the thing is when I went to Dublin, everything's all U2 shit.
Is it? Right,
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe now there's maybe some Conor McGregor mixed in there, but no, it's like
It's
all
almost
U2
entirely
shit.
U2.
Did I tell you there's a vintage clothes shop in Dublin,
To be honest.
and he's a photo on the wall saying / shops here.
Oh, right.
And it's a photo of like some guy with like kind of curly hair holding a bag just walking down the street. You know, it's taken like as he was walking off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that could be anybody. But he's just put / shops here. And maybe it was /, but I reckon it probably wasn't. But, you know, it's not like he had it / with his arm around the guy, like giving a thumbs up. Like I endorse this product. Like no, it was.
But no.
If it even was him, he was like, "Get the fuck away from me! I don't want to sign no shit."
That was Frankie Boyle running away from us in Glasgow.
Yeah, God, remember that?
Jumping into Holland and Barrett to try and fucking lose us. Like,
Yeah.
jumping inside a bottle of kombucha or whatever.
Hiding in a freaking packet of wheatgrass.
I was scared to say that as well. Right, you calm down for you.
I think that was when Frankie Boyle had quote unquote retired for like a year.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's coming back. Tyson Fury's retired again. This time it might actually be for real because he's just been done by Usyk twice.
Exactly. I didn't ever rated him, to be fair.
I used to not, and then I started to buy his bullshit. And then now I look back on his career and I go, does he rank in like the all-time
I mean,
great list?
he's a big unit, but is he more than a big unit? Is he actually a
Yeah.
talented boxer?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
But if he were 6'3", 6'4", I don't think he would have done what he did. I think he could move very well for someone his size.
Okay.
But if you took the exact same skill set and shrunk him down, I don't think he would have done
As well.
as well.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Whereas Usyk is considered small for a heavyweight, and he's there. You go. He just beat the. Well, I don't think he's not the biggest. Technically, there was a guy called Valuev who had the WBA belt for a while. He's the guy David Hay fought.
Yes, I remember.
7 foot cunt.
He's just a monster, man.
I think he's the largest heavyweight champ ever, but Fury is probably second. And yeah, so there you go. And Usyk
Beat him anyway.
Usyk beat him twice. So,
Myself again.
why was I on about Tyson Fury?
I suppose
Oh yeah,
it's
Liverpool.
time to face
And after
Yeah, let me know how it is.
I don't know.
Ryan, that's my Rido's stag do book. We're just going to some. It says villa, but it's in Scotland, so I don't know how much of a like villa it is. I think it's just a kind of like big house. For 2 nights, and I don't even know what the plan is. I think we'll just go and
We can take
there's
this.
probably I think there's like activities. I think there's a sort of like farm nearby, so I think there's activities you can like shoot rifles and shit. But I don't even really care about that. We'll just be shit faced for the weekend, no doubt.
I can help with the vines.
You didn't watch How I Met Your Mother, did you?
Now embed your blades into the glowing
There's a good episode where they go on like a stag do, and they're saying like there's always the same sort of characters. There's like the guy who disappears
more than for everything to go
and like just shows up right before you're like leaving at the end. There's the guy who only talks in cliches. There's like the best man. Usually there's the groom to be who like freak out about something. And that's kind of true. That's how I see this one going. Because there's a couple of his really dodgy friends that I don't really know how he. I think it's from when he used to work at KFC. I think that's where he knows them from. Because this guy, he's got a friend called Stuart. He's got a friend called Stuart who has a kid, and when the baby was born, he put a McDonald's cheeseburger next to its head,
Right.
to give people an idea of how big it was. Just this mad newborn baby with a cheeseburger next to it, and he's I think he's a butcher now.
It's a random career.
Yes, I think he said like he was working at KFC and he it was kind of just intended as like a sort of short-term part-time job, and then he was looking for stuff, and then I think he was just walking by and it said apprentice wanted, and he was going in and it was like aye, I'll do it, and that was it, and then like 5 years later there he is.
Send Odin my regards.
So he's going. He's a good laugh. He's quite a character.
You learn to use what you have.
He's usually got some good stories. Ross is his best man, so I'm assuming he'll arrange.
It's not as though
He's got to lead the charge, or
I'm assuming he'll arrange the activities or whatever.
what do you think you'll do? I mean, I mean, when we went to Liverpool for the stag do, we did an escape room.
Aye.
It was actually a nice way to kind of break up the boozing.
I think, yeah, like I said, I think there's like archery or like rifle shooting or
Stuff like that, exactly.
is
That
there.
would be quite cool. Have you ever done
or
like
quite nearby.
clay pigeon shooting? or
Not clay
anything like
pigeon
that?
shooting, no. I did some rifle shooting with the Boy Scouts way back when.
All right. Well, I never got to do that, motherfuckers.
Did you go
These guns are
to
the same as those we saw earlier.
Auchengillan?
Should make quick work of it.
That was the pure bog standard one that was quite nearby.
I think there's a wee tricky trick she can do. If she does that,
There's rifle shooting in there. It's like in the basement underneath the dorms. We would never stay in the dorms. We'd always stay in the tents. But yeah, the dorms. It's like underneath it.
mm-hmm.
You need to like crouch down when you go in.
Oh, you cunt.
I
saying
think
fucking force is full of shit.
I think I could actually dig out a few of my targets that I like shot there. You know, they're just paper targets with like the bullseye on them. But I'm sure I kept a few of them. You know, it was like little air rifles that wasn't proper heavy artillery or anything like that. But
I didn't mind mine. Quite
Watch out,
enjoyed.
those are wisps. Powerful manifestations of runic magic.
Does she just stagged her? Going to the casino.
with Gok one.
Yep. One Gok.
Could I ever think
I'll
this place
ask.
is
I'll see what other shenanigans we're getting up to.
It's just like trying to do anything. I find like I'm trying to use Eventbrite, but Eventbrite, man, just feels like really broken, like the app.
How so?
I was trying to book something like in Glasgow, and I was like, right, Glasgow cooking classes, and it was like all of them were in Edinburgh, not just some, not just like a couple, like every single one on the list was in Edinburgh or was sold out, and I was like, how do I filter to remove all these shit options? It was like, set your location. I'm like, my location's set. It's Glasgow. Why are you giving me shit in Edinburgh? And you couldn't set like a range for how far away.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's because these apps are shit, and like if you put
Dundee. Like, no, I don't want to go to fucking Dundee for a cooking class, oddly enough.
yeah, these apps are shit because they'll never just say no, we've nothing.
Still something to be fun.
So they'll just give you anything. They refuse to, even if you
Exactly, sold out. Like,
Yeah.
what's the point in all these sold out things?
It's a bit like if you say to somebody, "Oh, you got any beer?" They're like, "No, but we've got some lemonade." Right? That's not going to get me pissed though? So why did you tell me that?
Lemonade.
It's like apps work. It's the same as like customer service. They get told to never say no. They always need to offer you an alternative. It's like,
How does this thing work? Seems defiant.
there's an old JonTron video that's pretty funny like that. He's playing some Star Wars game and all the characters just like Pooh, Clune and a bunch of mad randoms you've never heard of. He's like, what about Luke? I want to be Luke. They're like, well, we don't have Luke Skywalker, but we do have like Daffy Duck. Like, okay, well, that's not what I wanted. But thanks for wasting my time.
I want to be the hero. I want to be the main character. Possibly the villain.
I want a skull. I can do Kermit the Frog. I want a skull. I'm gonna go ahead and do Kermit the Frog. There was a woman wanting, she's a tattoo artist, and she was wanting some shit printed to hang in her window, like, here's what you can get, and it was so depressing, because it was like, just shit that she found off Pinterest, pure low res, low quality images, and it was just like babies blowing kisses and gay like cartoon shit like that. And it was numbered, so
I didn't know I could do that.
it's like, it's meant to be like, you're meant to be an artist and like create stuff and shit like that, but it's like a Chinese, you go in and you go, he's a 1, a 13 and a 42, and that'd be 20 quid, aye, brilliant.
I had a Chinese last night, man. It's the new Bruce Lee in the Toon Centre. I would highly recommend it.
Bruce Lee?
Would I highly recommend it? I would moderately recommend it. It was perfectly adequate.
It's called Bruce Lee.
It's called Bruce Lee, aye.
It's
Under new management. It's been there for years, but it's... I think it needed that. It needed a rejuvenation. Because it's kind of a Chinese I've never used. I would normally use the one up at near Moss.
Yeah.
But it's gone downhill ever since they started. Ever since they started watering down the chicken and black bean.
No, I don't agree. I had it not long ago. It was brilliant.
Maybe I've just had a few badgings, but
possibly.
A while back I got it and I was like, this is really watery.
Maybe.
And it was,
Yeah.
I liked it thick and soy.
Yeah, that's how it was when I had it recently.
The special chow mein was kind of, has always been pretty, pretty decent.
I had that a while ago again.
Pretty decent. But no, this one was, shite. But aye, we've got some chicken balls, got some stuff, some scoobity boobity.
I like that Kevin Bridges bit when he's on about like
Who's
what?
choice? Oh.
I think it is part of that overall story. He's looking for like what is healthy from the Chinese, and it's some guy from like the University of Sacramento, and he's like, actually all Chinese food is cooked and fat and very bad for you and addictive. He's like, I'm not looking for that. No. It's like John from Mary Hill. Chicken balls isn't too bad as long as you take the butter off.
Exactly.
At least 3 of the chicken balls. So specific. Wee mental Davy.
Night time.
Apprentice alarm engineer.
I wanted that health. Get back over there. Doesn't even matter. I've got fucking regen and all sorts.
One of my friends is an alarm engineer, and he doesn't do it anymore because he's boring now. But he used to, when he was an apprentice, when he was meeting people, he'd introduce himself as apprentice alarm engineer as if it was like a title. It was so daft.
Why do
It's
that?
funny.
An apology would be.
You go like, oh,
I get a bit of humility.
I'm such and such apprentice alarm engineer.
It's a bit of humility there. Again, I bet you most of the cunts who are apprentices at our place feel like, oh, I'm like head of quality. Like, fuck off.
Probably.
Executive divisional quality director. Like, are you right?
Oh, I was doing some writing the other day for the old Reppy reps, and it's the sort of underneath meta story, and I was trying to come up with the most arsehole-ish like job titles and stuff like that, and I looked up like a Reddit. I despise Reddit, but I looked up like a Reddit page about it, and they were on. One of them was on about there was a lassie who claimed her title was like executive trainee to the board, and she was just the boss's daughter. And I was like, that's perfect, because that's such a grandiose sort of sounding title, but all it means is you're the boss's daughter, so you're basically doing nothing, but you're on the payroll.
Nothing. You lose.
And I like that. Because at first I was going to put something like sort of senior clerical technician, a secretary, but give it like a pure grandiose title. But I was like, nah, because secretaries actually do something. I was like, what's like something where they actually do fuck all? And I was like, that's perfect.
Well, that didn't do what I wanted. So that's it. That's one. That's two. That's three. Ah!
Oh no. Your mum's asshole.
Why didn't that do it? Fucking ball bag.
Absolute jobby bums.
Space magic.
I don't know what you're trying to do, so I can't really
goodness.
help.
My goodness. Trying to chain the fucking fireballs.
Wouldn't this side be easier?
Can I just do it? No, because I don't think she don't want to launch it in the water. It's got to be like off the wall. It's got to be off the hook.
Right.
So I can do it like from this side, but it's a weird perspective thing. And I'm like struggling to see exactly where it contacts each subsequent ball. Because they have to be like in each sphere. You see what I mean? Like that one didn't quite connect.
Can you not just shoot that one?
You've only got a
away?
certain range. Oh my goodness, it's connected. Why the fuck didn't that do it? Like, that's definitely connected.
I do not know.
Oh my goodness gracious, Mary and Joseph.
That was me opening a cookie.
I need a minute. I need a minute to calm down. Am I missing something? Am I supposed to jump across? Am I going the wrong way? Should I do it this side? Maybe that's the problem.
Edit this out.
Maybe this is first try. I've overthought it clearly. Motherfucker, man.
This can be powerful.
Forgiveness is shut up. Even for the unworthy. Is that some kind of backhanded compliment? Fuck you, Kratos. I am not unworthy.
Remember the other day we were talking about what Always Sunny character we are?
Yes.
Sadly, I think I'm Mac.
Yeah, kind of Mac.
And I'm kind of in my fat phase at the moment. You know, like when Mac gets super
no,
fat.
not at all. Was there a reason Mac got fat?
You know the reason, like the real life reason?
Yeah, why?
Right, so Rob McElhenney, you know, Mac,
Yes.
he's a big fan of Friends. That's
Okay.
that's basically what Always Sunny is. You know, like the theme song for Friends, I'll Be There For You.
Yeah.
He wanted to make the opposite, where like they're never there for each other.
Right, okay.
The original title for the show was going to be just be called Jerks, but luckily they came up with like
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Aye,
It made it more of its own thing by doing that.
it's more memorable a title. So anyway,
It's mean spirited, but kind of in a fun way.
aye,
Because they kind of are there for each other. Maybe not so much D.
but only if it's convenient for them.
Exactly.
That's kind of how I'd put it.
I don't get when like Charlie and Dee got together.
I think it was just because they thought it was really weird to see them together like that. So, because the whole point is they were like all trying to do something new. So I think it was kind of a case of like, this is gross. We don't want that to happen again. So
It came across as
so
fucking. Obviously, Rob McElhenney goes out with Dee as well.
aye.
It came across as pure cucking. It was like.
That's the other thing. I thought it was kind of weird. I don't like.
Didn't like it. It's like, why Charlie? Like, I mean, I know Charlie.
That's your pal. Like, that's gross.
Like Dennis has gotten out because it's meant to be his sister,
Yeah.
and the two of them are never they never hug even. It's really quite funny. Pierce commits to the part.
No. So the reason that Matt got fat, right? So in Friends, so in Friends, as the show got more and more popular, and the actors got richer and richer, they all start looking better because they can take more care of themselves and get plastic surgery or whatever. So they all get better looking as the show goes along. So what he said was, in Always Sunny, all they do is sit about and like drink beer and shit like that. So he's like, we should all get really, really fat. So that was his idea. He wanted all of them to get fat apart from Frank. He wanted Danny DeVito. So he wanted all of them to gain 80 pounds and Danny DeVito to lose 80 pounds.
Right.
But they all said no. And he went, right, fuck this, I'll do it then. So that's why he got fat.
Oh, god damn it.
It was literally just because he thought it was funny. And that was kind of his thinking, was like, but if you actually did, you know, treat your body the way that they do in Always Sunny, they would get really fat.
Aye.
So
They just sit around drinking all the time. Like.
exactly. So he's like, so they would probably end up getting real fat. And then and then when he got absolutely shredded for like season 14 or whatever it was, that was kind of the same thing, but the opposite. He was like, it'd be amazing if like Mac finally does get jacked, and like just everybody's just kind of like, okay, yeah, cool.
I love that.
And like, and they go back to whatever they're doing.
He's like, but why did I work so hard?
Why did I do it?
Could we use it, guys? Like, no. I love it when they beat up the kids. It's the same season when he gets jacked, and it's like that kid wants to bully him.
Yeah.
And they fight the kids, and he's like, he punches him, and it's amazing.
I really didn't expect that either. I thought they were gonna go and like,
What, get their bike back?
just give them a talking to or something. I really should have seen it coming that they were going to just kick the shit out of them, but I just didn't. Just because they don't really go there in like violence. I mean, in Always Sunny,
Especially
there's not really a lot of violence.
Especially a Charlie.
Yeah, unless he's bashing rats. But other than that,
He's quite pacifist. but it was just when the kid tries to run away and Charlie sort of runs and like smashes.
Like checks him out of the car. Yeah.
It's just like, and Mac literally picks one up like with one arm. Like you say, because it's so out of character. It stands out.
Just like the old days.
And I love everything about Dennis, but I particularly love the implication.
Because of the implication.
I love that whole.
If she says no, then obviously it's a no. But she's not gonna say no.
Because of the implication. And it's Mac's response where he's like, see, that's maybe I'm not understanding. That's what it is. I'm not understanding. Yeah. And then he goes, no, you've said it again. That makes me uncomfortable. No, bro, because I'm not saying if she says no, then it's no. But she won't because of the implication. And I think he mentions the implication again.
It definitely comes back at some point.
It's just these little callbacks that are amazing.
Yeah.
You do get the reward for watching
you wouldn't,
and paying attention.
You wouldn't it doesn't make the episode make no sense or anything like that if you didn't know it. It's just a little thing. It's like when Pepperjack comes back.
The dog.
No, that's Poppins.
Oh, that's Poppins.
Pepperjack's the pimp.
Right?
The pimp? Don't matter. He's
but when does he come back?
So he's
not when they do Lethal Weapon, is it?
Yeah, it's when they're doing Lethal Weapon.
Okay,
5 or whatever it is.
7 or whatever. Aye.
Lethal Weapon. Yeah, 7. I think
it was Lethal Weapon 7.
Aye. So they get him as
because they mentioned Mac did one where he was, or he done them with blackface, I think. But
have
they
you
don't
seen those
show
episodes?
It. Nah.
They're not on Netflix anymore. I'll see if I can find them on YouTube because I've found. So the thing is, a few folk have uploaded them, but they're really shittily cut up, and it's them sitting watching it and talking over it, because that's kind of how they get around it. And all the comments are just saying the same thing, gonna just shut up, no one, we're here because we can't find the episode anywhere. So yeah, they are out there. There's another one. There's a couple that got banned. There's one, the gang recycles their trash, and it's a really funny episode as well. It's a shame that one got taken down. But yeah, D does a Mexican stereotype in it. I'm sure. I think that's why that got kind of taken down. But yeah, Pepperjack. He's a pimp, and he basically. He says he owns D, and he's Dennis is like, oh, I'm sorry, well, I think we need to just get out. He's like, you won't get to come in here and take Pepperjack's best home. So then, when he comes back, again, he's because I think Mac finds he goes, oh, I found some guy called Pepperjack, and Dennis is like, Pepperjack? He's like, he's like, no. You wouldn't need to have seen that episode, but it's funnier if you have.
Exactly, and it's there's one where Frank, I think he's already seen Mac do the dance. Yeah. And it's he's talking about how he's got anal beads.
Oh yeah, and the guy who controls them with an app.
Exactly. And he's like, no, I'm over it. He's like, because he's not saying bad stuff.
I get
about
the whole
Mac.
gay thing now.
I watched the dance. It's just the way he kind of says he did the dance. So
he did the dance.
I understand it. And then he's like, oh yeah, and I do the thing where he explains the anal bead situation, and Frank calls him a faggot or something.
He just goes that. No, I don't get it.
Exactly.
I don't understand it.
Oh.
And then spoilers. Turns out Dennis.
It was Dennis the whole
Is that
time.
the Sind system? Is that episode?
I don't know.
It might be.
Aye, might be.
I showed back when I was going out with Babs. I showed her that Dennis system episode, and of course she got all feminist about it and got all offended. And she was like, "Oh, is that how you treat women?"
No, I'm like, but that's why it's funny. It's
that's what I was saying. I was like, it's funny because you wouldn't do that.
Exactly.
Third of all, if you ain't staying,
you like horror movies where folk get chopped about the place.
Exactly.
Does that mean you want to go about chopping folk up?
No, exactly. It's about the.
maybe come back with Beardo.
How do you explain it?
Check up on your old pal here.
That's kind
It's funny because it's not real. If I knew somebody, if one of my pals was doing that in real life, I'd be like, you're bang out of order. What's wrong with you? But the point is, they wouldn't do it. It's so over the top, having this like this weird dentist system where like you was it like
well, you kind of know people who are like really terrible to women,
Yeah.
but yet women still seem to flock to them. So it's funny. Let's say it's a clever way of mocking the fact that individuals do have what feels like a system to get that many women.
Yeah.
It is all just about the process that they go about.
A lot of these like pick-up artist guys that sell courses on how to pick up women and shit like that, a lot of their stuff is
There'll be some
acronym.
there'll be some acronym. And it's what's funny is the dentist system is, like I say, it's so ridiculous.
No.
Like established dependency, like and a lot of it wouldn't work. Like phone her up,
nurture dependence.
exit, so you have to leave her. I can't remember. I can't remember all of it. But he's like, you have to pretend to like make her dependent on you, then disappear.
Nurture dependence, neglect emotionally, instill hope, separate entirely. Is that it?
entirely?
Something along those
something
lines.
like that. Exactly. It's
I love it in that episode. It's just the way he says it. I find so funny. It's like it's Charlie at the end, and it's like Charlie, you were gonna get him. You were gonna get me stabbed. He's like, I was gonna protect you from the stabbing. He's like, wrong. You're supposed to let her get stabbed and then nurse her back to health because they're all doing it wrong.
well, they are all doing it wrong.
So here's Charlie's like saying to her saying to the waitress what he's doing. He's like, I'm going to demonstrate my value to you right now by throwing a wicked fastball.
How does slope?
You know they're married in real life.
The waitress and Charlie.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's his wife.